All right, again, let's like Brandon did, hashtag 49ers, get your questions in. Are you worried about the Kittle extension? I got this question last week, and I don't remember how I answered it, but I think I said I wasn't. Now, it's weird. It's weird it's not done because we heard a month ago that it was, in talks and they were close and he was going to break the bank for being the highest paid tight end, and yet here we are. So I'm not worried because Kittle's not the kind of guy to like hold out and be weird and kind of be that annoying distraction at training camp. But it is just kind of like, why haven't you signed him? Like, there's just no reason why you haven't signed him. And the closer you get to the NFL season, the more power George Kittle has. So unless Kittle's like, hey guys, I don't want to talk to you guys until August, then we'll do a deal, then that would make sense. But right now, there's been nothing in terms of rumors about when a Kittle extension would come. So no, I'm not worried. It is a little weird though. And I appreciate the question because it points it out. It's just weird. It's like, can we get this question or can we get this stuff done because he's the best tight end and he deserves to be paid and we want him to be happy. So it'll come. It'll come. There won't be a holdout. It'll come. It's just a little weird. It hasn't come yet. Let's see. How many yards for Deebo? He had 700 yards last year. Probably about 900 total or all-purpose yards with rushes as well. How about this? 1,200 all-purpose yards. I think he gets, because they do end arounds to Deebo, right? So Deebo's going to get a lot of end arounds. He had a lot, like 20-yard runs last season. I think at least 1,000 yards receiving. The big thing for me is not yards for Deebo. It's touchdowns. 3 touchdowns last year. That was it. Bump that up a little bit. That needs to be in the 7 or 8 range. So I'd rather have more touchdowns. I'd rather have 60 catches, 800 yards, and 8 touchdowns than 75 catches for 1,000 yards and 4 touchdowns. You guys get me? I'd rather have more touchdowns. So I think 1,000, but I'm more worried about Deebo getting in the end zone because he struggled with that throughout the entire course of the year, despite the fact the numbers overall were pretty good for a rookie wide receiver. Next question here says, who will the 2020 breakout star for the 49ers be? Jalen Hurts. Heard it here first. Jalen Hurts, breakout star. We talked about this last week on a video. There was a report from Peter King from NBC Sports, and I got to meet Peter King this past season at a different NFL training camp that I was attending as a member of the media. I got to shake Peter King's hand and talk to Peter King, and Peter King is very interesting when you see him at training camp. So he kind of stands by himself as he's watching practice and then takes players one-on-one and interviews them. Peter's got a really good eye for talent. So Peter King was at the 49ers training camp, which is not the one I was at. I was at the Falcons training camp, but I digress. Peter King was at the 49ers training camp. And Peter King was asked last year's training camp, who is the best player that you saw on the field today? Best player on the field. He said, Jalen Hurts, without a doubt, this guy will be a star. Well, Jalen Hurts didn't become a star because he hurt his back in preseason. Basically did nothing, right? I think Jalen Hurts is set to have a breakout year. And I think if you ask Peter King that right now from NBC, Monday morning quarterback, he would agree. Hurts has all the tools. Hurts has all of the tools to be a great receiver, especially in the slot where he lined up a lot at Baylor. I know I'm biased. It's like, oh, Thomas, you're the Baylor guy. I know, but I've seen him in person so many times, and I've interviewed him, and I know he's great. I'm telling you, he was great in college. He's going to be great in San Francisco. I think breakout star is Jalen Hurts. You know what? I'm going to tell you guys right now. I will draft Jalen Hurts in all my fantasy leagues this year, okay? Mark me down for that. I will draft Jalen Hurts in all my fantasy leagues because he's going to be that good overall. How about that? Okay, shout out your city, my favorite part of the show. Who is living far enough away? Who is living furthest away? So let's see where you guys are watching from. Of course, I'm in Atlanta. All of our studios are in Dallas. Who's furthest away from me? Give me shout outs in the comment section down below to see where you guys are all hailing from. And while you're doing that, stay safe with our next deal here at chatsport.com/49mask. Look at this. Now, masks themselves don't look good. That's a fact. I don't think there's any mask out there where you're like, man, you look better in that mask than you did without it. But the times we have right now, it's better to safe than sorry. So wear a mask whenever you guys go outside. That's easy, right? Everyone knows you need to do that. But if you're going to do it, wear this mask because it looks way better. Wouldn't you rather go over to the grocery store and rep the 49ers instead of wearing some weird, lawnmower mask your dad gave you out of the garage? Brand new ones. You get a 3-pack for $25. Go ahead and pick them up right now. Get all 3 of these ones right here. You can share or you can keep them for yourself. These would be great if you live in a city, which a lot of you guys are saying you don't live in San Francisco. If you lived in LA, so you're around Rams fans, live in Seattle, this would be fun to wear out in Seattle. Now, hopefully you don't get in trouble, like people don't get mad at you, but this would look great. So go ahead and pick those up at chatsports.com/49mask. Okay, a couple more questions here. Ronald Thomas, he has a fantastic last name. I mean, perfect last name. Will McKinnon have a big role in the offense? How big is big? Because he's essentially the 3rd string running back. Here's what's going to happen overall with a guy like Jerick McKinnon. They're going to put him out there on a lot of 3rd downs, a lot of screens, a lot of swing passes, and try and see if he's going to get back to his old, normal running back self. The last time, think about this. The last time we saw Jerick McKinnon in a football uniform playing was the 2017 NFC title game in Philadelphia against the Eagles where they got blown out. That was the last time. It's been that long. So they're going to trust Mostert. They're going to trust Coleman way more than Jerick McKinnon. But I still think you're going to see them slowly give him a little bit more. It's like, here, try this out. Here's 5 touches. It's like, oh, pretty good. Next game. Here's 7 touches. Oh, wow. Oh, keep going. Okay, here's 8 touches. They're going to slowly work him up to a, pretty decent amount, 10 to 12 touches a game. So I think overall, he's not going to be a massive part of the 49ers offense because you have Mostert and Coleman and even Jeff Wilson Jr., but they're going to try and see how good he is, and they're going to get him the football because apparently he's cleared, and apparently he's good to go overall. Okay, next question here. Jonathan Sterling asked, who do you think will be the punt returner for the Niners, James or Ayuk? I think it's going to be Brandon Ayuk. I get that Richie James was doing it last year, but I think it's going to be Brandon Ayuk because Ayuk was fantastic at Arizona State in kick return. That's one of the reasons why they went ahead and got him. Richie James was fine, but never did anything special. I can't even think of a time that Richie James had like a big kick return. Obviously, he had 0 kick returns in terms of like kick returns for a touchdown, but there's never like a punt return where it's like, whoa, Richie James went for 40. Whoa. It was like Richie James, fair catch. Richie James, 10 yards. It was just like, let's spice up a little bit. It's just another area and an aspect of your team to make it a little bit better. Try Ayuk out. They'll try him out in training camp, and I'm sure they'll try him out in preseason. And if he pops like he did at Arizona State, then he should be the guy overall. But if he fumbles a lot, then go back to Richie James Jr. Ed, which team will give us more trouble this year? I am so glad you asked this question, Ed. This is one of my favorite questions that we get and one I like to talk about a lot. Seahawks or Cardinals? Here's the deal. Here's the honest truth about this. The Seahawks are better because of Russell Wilson. That's it. The only part of the Seahawks that is better is the quarterback. Now, quarterbacks win championships. We know how great quarterbacks are. So if I had to bet on a team to win more games, I'm betting on the Seahawks. But the Cardinals roster, guys, the Cardinals roster, stacked. Absolutely. I mean, DeAndre Hopkins, Kyler Murray. They have Christian Kirk, another wide receiver. They have Isaiah Simmons. They have Patrick Peterson. They have, who was the guy they drafted out of Temple a couple years ago? Oh, gosh, I forget. They have a lot of talent overall. Google Cardinals roster right now after this video and see how fantastic it is. They are really, really good in all phases. I think this is at least an 8-win football team, and only the reason they're not going to get more because they got to play 49ers twice, and they got to play Seattle twice, and they got to play the Rams twice. It's the hardest division in the National Football League. So Seahawks are going to win more games, but those Cardinal games are going to be a pain in the butt. Okay, be sure to subscribe to the 49ers Report. That way you guys can get more videos. So the more subscriptions we have, that means the more people who watch, which means the more videos the bosses have me do. So if you want the bosses to make me work more, then go ahead and subscribe to the 49ers Report, right? If you guys like the stuff, I'll take one for the team. I'll keep working, right? That's what I do every day. Go ahead and click the red subscribe button. And if you're a true fan, and only if you're a true fan, if you're a fake fan, then don't do this next thing. If you really like the 49ers Report, and you've DM'd me on Twitter asking questions, because I answer my questions on Twitter, right? And you see my Twitter handle, @ Thomas Mott. Click the notification bell as well. You know what I'm going to do? If you want to DM me a Twitter question for next week, I'm going to ask you if you've hit the notification bell. And if you have not, I'm not going to respond. How about that? How about that? Yeah, little tough love. Got to click the notification bell. We would greatly appreciate that if you guys did. Okay. A super chat has arrived, and you guys know, yes, a super chat, then we're going to 100% put it on the screen. So here it is. Hex Menace asks, think Jalen Hurts can take the starting role for receiver taking from Deebo? No, and it's just because the Niners normally have at least 2 wide receivers out there, so he's going to always be a starter, but Deebo will always be out there. Does that make sense? I don't think he's going to take it. I think Deebo will be a better overall receiver just because he did play last year, which does matter. Now, Hurd was there at practice, listening in on meetings and in the wide receiver room. That's why I think he's going to be the breakout star, but I still think this is Deebo's team in terms of a wide receiver. I think he's going to be a baller overall. But hey, listen, if Deebo is good, but Hurd is great, and then Hurd takes it from Deebo and is the #1 receiver, that's fantastic because that means Deebo is still good, and that means the Jalen Hurd draft was a good thing overall just a couple of years ago. Okay, so got time for some more questions here. Let's see. John Zach is asking, see Witherspoon getting his confidence back like he did early last year before his injury. I do. It's just a matter of how many snaps will he get to prove that. I think E-Man comes in as a surefire number 2 quarterback opposite of Richard Sherman. I think he's going to be locked and loaded and ready to go. I think Mosley's the starter for the entire year opposite of Sherman. But I think that Witherspoon doesn't suck. Like that's probably my answer on Witherspoon. There's a reason they didn't draft a cornerback or sign a cornerback this offseason, and Witherspoon's the reason, because they trust Kittle to at least be the number 3 option. It's not like he's garbage. He's not trash. He just wasn't as good as Emmanuel Mosley towards the latter part of the NFL season. So I think Confidence will be back, but I still think he's going to be number 3 on the depth chart behind Mosley and Sherman. Now, this is a question that I thought of because we talked about it earlier this show, talking about which jersey you'd buy because there are so many good 49er jerseys. Who's the best 49er player right now? This is for right now. Not Joe Montana, not Jerry Rice. That's the path. This team, 2020, who's the best 49er right now? Fill in the blank. The 49ers' best player is blank. Who is it? Let me know what you guys think in the comment section. I don't know what I'd say. I mean, is it Bosa? You know what? Fred Warner's pretty good. Is it Fred Warner? Is it Mostert? Let me know what you guys think in the comment section. I'm seeing some Mosterts. I'm seeing a lot of I'm seeing a lot of Sherman. That's fair, and a lot of Bosa as well. So that's fine. That's fine. Keep giving me those comments in the comment section. Final little ad read here on the mask. I'm going to push these one more time for you guys because a lot of people are asking for the link. One more time, there it is. Chatsports.com/49mask is the place to go ahead and pick up your 3-pack for $25. These are masks to keep you safe and keep you looking cool whenever you're heading out into the world that we are in today. I was talking to a friend today. I said, we'll be wearing masks for a long time. Despite what's going on, you'll be wearing a mask for months and months and months. So just go ahead and buy some cool ones right now. We encourage you guys to do it right here at chatsports.com/49mask. That is the place to do it overall. And you get 3 packs. You get the one with the logo, you get the one with the 49ers, and the one with the mini helmet logo there as well. You get all 3 of the ones you guys see on the screen overall. Okay, couple more questions here. Got time for just a few more. Robert Perkins asked, how many more good years does Sherman have? Ooh, I've answered this one before. What did I say last time? It's a long time ago. 2. This year in 2021. As like a good corner, 2. That's it. There's no way 2022 he's playing at an elite level. He was rated the highest rated cornerback in the NFC last year. Like, he was elite last year. He has 2 more good elite years, so he'll do that obviously this year, and then in 2021, that's it. I'd say 2 more. He's getting old, guys. Like, Richard Sherman's getting old. He's not going to be elite for 50, 5 more years or whatever it is. I think 2 more years is a fair one to do it. See, 49er Phil, what's your question here? It is, Clowney cost too much. Yes, he does. Apparently, Jadeveon Clowney does cost too much. Seattle offered him a deal. The Philadelphia offered him like a 1-year deal. And there was another team in the mix as well. It might have been Washington or the Jets. So there are 3 teams that have been interested in him. I know Philadelphia and Seattle were both interested. Obviously, he came from Seattle. But yeah, he costs way too much. The Niners do not have enough money to pay Jadeveon Clowney, especially if it's the rumored $14, $15, $16 million a year. So no, not a chance for Clowney. Plus, it gets to a point where you got too many good pass rushers, right? You can't get them all on the football field. I think Clowney would be upset that, oh my goodness, D Ford is playing. I want to get in there. It's just not a good fit. I'm not worried about it at all. Okay, Daniel asks, let's see right here. How many interceptions do you think Jimmy Garoppolo will throw the 2020 NFL season? Better be less than 15, right? I mean, that was the one thing that all Niner fans, not the one thing, but people always, Jimmy G, there's the pick. He always threw 1 bad pick, right? Always 1 bad pick. So cut that down. 10 would be amazing. If Jimmy G only threw 10 picks, so less than 1 pick a game, less than half a pick a game overall, that's fantastic. I'm hoping it's 10. Realistically, it's probably going to be 15. As long as it's not 17, 18, 19, I think overall it's going to be just fun. I think 10 right now is how many he's going to throw in the 2020 NFL season. Let's see here. Next question is from Benjamin. And Benjamin's going to go ahead and ask, is Travis Benjamin a waste? Is this Travis Benjamin's burner account? No, Travis, you're not a waste overall. I mean, it's not like it didn't take a lot to get him here. So, no, I don't think he's a waste. And maybe he turns out to be good at the wide receiver position. So, overall, no, I don't think he is. I think it's going to be fine. But he's not going to be getting, 50 catches this year. And if he does, then it wasn't a waste, right? That's how it works overall. So, there you go.